him. I don't know what just happened there, but let's go, baby. We did it. Hey everyone, Digital David here. Today in this video, we're going to be checking out the HP V223ve computer monitor. I did purchase this product myself, and any opinion expressed in this video is strictly my own. That being said, if you're interested in this product, you want to find out more about it, the link to it will be in the video description. You can see the retail box and packaging right here, walking us through some product information. You can see some additional info on the side. Front and center, though, you may notice we have a 21.5-inch display measured diagonally. This consists of a VA panel, 75 Hz refresh rate, 1920 by 1080p full HD resolution, and a 7 millisecond response time gray to gray. You can also see down here, it does include VGA and HDMI ports, and we have a tilt-supported stand. Now let's go ahead, let's open it up and look at the contents. Here are all the contents. First up, you can see we have our product literature right here with our warranty and compliance information, followed by our quick setup guide walking us through everything we need to know to get the stand installed, how to connect to our computer, and how to power on the monitor. In case you're wondering, this is a 1920 by 1080p monitor capable of 75 Hz, and it has a 7 millisecond response time, and that's measured G2G. Next, we have our HDMI cable. We have our power cable. What's nice is the power supply is integrated directly into the monitor, so we just have your standard cable that's universal. Next, you can see our two stand pieces right here. And lastly, you can see the monitor itself. Let's go ahead, let's look at that in more detail. Here's the monitor up close. Check it out from the front. You can see we have our HP logo and branding, a fairly thick bezel along the sides, and we have our control buttons down at the bottom, with the largest button with the indicator light being our power button. Next, let's go ahead, let's flip it over to the side. So you can see right here, we have our power connector where we're going to install our stand, our HDMI port, and our VGA port. Let's look at it from both sides as well. So you can see how thick this monitor is, and we'll flip it around to the other side. And now you can see it from the top profile. We do have a vent up here. And now we'll flip it over to the back side so you can see this is going to be VESA mount compatible as well too. If you do want to add a third-party stand, you can do that. And we have our Kensington security lock as well. Now let's go ahead, let's get the stand installed. Stand installation for this monitor is very simple and straightforward. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to line the pieces up like you see right here and just gently press in place, and it snaps right in. If you need to remove or disassemble this, there's a little black lever you can lift right here, and then you can see we can slide it right back out. Now it's time to take our assembled stand and actually slide it on the monitor. So here we go. We're going to hold it right there, line it up like you see, and just gently press in place. There we go. Everything is now successfully attached, and we can stand the monitor up. You can see how it looks, and we do have tilt adjustment. So you can see that's our max tilt back. Here's our max tilt forward. So it doesn't really tilt down much, as you can see from the side a little bit, but we can definitely tilt this monitor back, and there's no rotation or swivel or anything else with this stand, so it's really basic. But again, don't forget, if you want some of those features, you can put your own stand on here as well, or mount it to the wall or anything along those lines. Now let's go ahead and power it up. All right, so now you can see we have the monitor plugged in and powered on. Let's go ahead, let's bring up the menu. So you can see we have our 4 menu buttons down here. Let's press the first one to get our main menu, and you can see the different options that we have. Brightness, and we have our color settings, and we have our image settings right here. Our input options, HDMI or VGA, our power settings, our menu options right here. And you can see our management options where we can factory reset the monitor as needed. Next, we have our information right here. So current mode and optimal mode, 1920 by 1080, 60 Hertz. Then we have our exit. Now let's go ahead, let's go back. Let's press the second button. You can see we got the brightness icon. That's going to bring us to our brightness settings, and we can adjust the brightness from 100 all the way down if we wanted to 0. So let's go ahead, let's make it there. You can see the range that we have with this monitor. Let's bring it back up for the video. Let's go to 90 or 100, let's see. We'll leave it on 100, and then we can go back again, and then we'll press the third button. You can see we have our color settings right there. So let's cycle through those. We have neutral, cool, low blue light, night, reading, custom RGB. Then we have a reset, and then here's warm. So let's cycle through them again. I think my preferred one right now is definitely going to be the neutral setting. And then lastly, you can see we have our back button right here. Now let's go into our GPU's control panel. We'll use NVIDIA control panel to see if we can change the refresh rate to 75 Hertz. So I'm in the control panel right here. You can see we have our settings, and I went ahead, I implemented a custom one, and you can see our refresh rate right there. But watch what happens when I select apply. You can see we get this warning that our signal is out of range, and within 28 seconds, or 30 seconds, I should say, it's going to go ahead and go to sleep. So unfortunately, I don't know why that's the case, at least with HDMI connected with my RTX 3070 FE. I'm unable to have it stay in the 75 Hertz refresh rate that's advertised. So we're going to be staying in the 1920 1080p 60 Hertz range so we can keep using the monitor. Next up, we're going to look at the color settings now, again in more detail, so you can see the image we have on our screen right now. So let's go ahead, let's bring them up. So let's look at the different color options. Currently we're in neutral. Let's go up to warm so you can see how that changes the image. Here's cool, low blue light, night, reading, custom RGB. Actually looks really good. Let's go ahead. Let's cycle through them again. And now that we're here, let's go back and let's look at our brightness settings so you guys can see as you look at the exposure of this, what happens as we decrease the brightness. And you can see up at the top in the sky, I feel like maybe a little bit of the clouds become in more detail around the sun, but not as much as you would expect. So that really isn't changing anything, as it shouldn't, because this isn't truly your exposure. This is just the brightness of the display. And now let's go ahead, let's do the same thing with the video. Now you can see the video we have playing on our screen right here. So let's cycle through the different options from warm to neutral to cool to low blue light to night to reading to custom RGB. Let's go back again. So you can see they all definitely tweak and change what you're seeing on the display. I still like the neutral option. It definitely feels like the most natural option out of them. But again, to each their own, you can choose whatever setting fits you best or create your own. Next up, you can see what it's like to browse the web with this monitor. So check it out. We got YouTube pulled up right here. We're going to look at their trending videos. And you can see very fluid and smooth. Everything's clear and crisp, especially from an arm's length away from the display. We'll pull up Amazon so you can see another popular page and how it looks. All the images are clear and crisp. Everything's very fluid and smooth, easy to scroll and see everything. And lastly, if you want to use this monitor to read news or look at a lot of different texts and fonts, check it out. We got the popular news site, The Verge, pulled up. And again, everything's working great. Let's go ahead. Let's just click on an article. You can see with different fonts, texts, images, really clear and crisp and sharp, especially for just being 1920 by 1080p. But having the smaller form factor definitely helps because we're cramming more pixels into the panel. Now you can see on the display we have our UFO test going across the screen, so you can see the difference with our 60 Hertz panel and different FPS values. So obviously if we had a higher refresh rate, let's say even 75, we'd probably see a noticeable difference. And then if you want to use this monitor to game, this is what you can expect to be able to do. 1080p 60 FPS with our 60 Hertz refresh rate. But if you really like to have those higher FPS values, you would appreciate having a monitor that has 120 Hertz, 144 Hertz, or even 165 plus. Now it's time for one of my favorite tests. You can see we're measuring the input lag right now. Our lowest value is going to be 1.6 milliseconds, and our highest value is going to be 16 milliseconds. The way the monitor works, typically in this corner and quadrant, it's going to start and refresh first. So that is why we have the lowest value there. And we'll have our 16 value down here at the bottom, which you guys will be able to see. So there we go. We're showing 15.916 milliseconds right there. Now, keep in mind, input lag is different from your response time. So again, input lag is going to be the delay between, say, clicking your mouse, typing on your keyboard versus what you see on the screen. Whereas if we're going over response time, that's going to be the amount of times it takes a pixel to change from black to white or from one shade of gray to another. Lastly, I thought we'd have some fun and play a little bit of Fortnite right here. So you can see our settings: 1920, 1080p, 60 FPS, and we did auto set for our graphics quality. And you can see we're going to play with the epic settings, but I'm actually going to knock that down one to high so you guys can see, and hopefully we won't have any issues at all. So check it out. Here's the high settings right here with the monitor. So we're going to move around, do some really fast movements and motion so you guys can see what that's like right here. Check that out. So far, so good. Colors look great. Super responsive. Enjoying it so far. Let's go grab some items. So far, so good. Pretty smooth. I just want to take a moment and let you guys know that it's not about the equipment that you have or the monitor that you use. That is not going to improve your skills. So as much as you like to think that, you know, if you're trying to buy like the best golf clubs, that's not going to make you a better golfer, just FYI. Oh, come on. Come on. 12, come on, let's go get more. Oh. This is embarrassing. Come on. I got him! I don't know what just happened there, but let's go, baby! We did it! So now let me share with you my final thoughts after using this HP monitor. First, I want to say I've reviewed quite a few HP monitors that are available on the market today. This is definitely one of their most basic monitors that they offer today. It's just a simple monitor at 1920 by 1080p with a 60 hertz refresh rate. Even though they're advertising it at 75 hertz, I've read some other reviews of people saying they're only able to get 60 hertz as well. So I'm not sure if Windows is being weird, the monitor's being weird, or the panel doesn't even support it. I'm not really sure at this stage. So just assume if you're buying this, you're going to get 60 hertz. And if for some reason you can figure out a way to keep it powered on with 75 hertz, count yourself blessed. But overall, simple monitor that just gets the job done for basic computing tasks. As you can see though, we did game on it without any issues, but that's going to be up to your personal preferences. And if you just want to game at 60 FPS with our 60 hertz display and 1080p resolution. But if you want to get this for like your kid to play with their console or something like that, you're not going to be out a lot of money and it's going to be good enough. Now, I'd like to see some built-in speakers coming out of this monitor, maybe an extra HDMI port, maybe a DisplayPort option. I'd love to also see some built-in speakers. They don't have to be soundbar quality, but just to have some audio functionality would be great to see with this monitor in the future. But overall, it's a simple monitor for simple tasks on your computer. Would make a great second monitor to have maybe with a laptop, a desktop, or I'm thinking like if you're a streamer or content creator and you want to have your chat up and you don't need to have, 4K resolution or 120 hertz or 144 hertz refresh rate or anything like that. You just want to put, the chat up, or maybe you just want to have a YouTube video going on in the background with your main monitor or laptop where you're actually getting your work done. This would be a very nice choice for something like that. Well, that concludes our video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget the product link will be in our video description below. Please go ahead, check it out, and do your shopping from there. Any purchase made through that link helps support our channel at no additional cost to you. So we're really grateful and thankful for all of your support. While you're at it, can you go ahead and hit that like button for us? And subscribe to our channel. We have new content coming out daily and we don't want you to miss anything. Please go ahead and give us a follow online and make it a clean sweep. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, TikTok, Discord. You can message us on WeChat, check out our website, and join our free newsletter. Thank you guys so much for being here. Don't forget new content daily, and we can't wait to see you in our next video.